Sweet thing, 2 years ago you would have loved me. I put Skittles and Sundays to shame. My mom used to bathe me in liquid from the hummingbird feeder, while little beaks stippled the screen above the tub. I wore a coat spun from cotton candy, the fibers so flimsy, buttons dropped, and the breeze tore off tufts and sent them drifting like milky dandelion heads. At night, loose crystals skittered in the sheets. Boys licked me under the tornado slide, and a friend sucked on a strand of hair like it was licorice. Sometimes I overheated, blisters popping under the pink, but I didn't cry. My sisters said I'd dissolve. Then last winter, the sugar suit almost smothered me in my sleep. I woke up as white and brittle as an angel ornament. I finally showered, the fluff turning into grit, clinging to my scalp and burrowing under my armpits. After scraping with a butter knife, a runny glaze still lingered, so I scrubbed with a copper coil until red tabs stuck out from my sides, like cheese on a grater. I don't answer anymore to honey, baby, or dear. Say my name, or look me in the eye and don't call me anything. I am rust, plaster, granite. I am the tiny steel lock that won't let go. I dare any tongue to try me now. Self-taught. You started on a tailor, the contoured body filling your lap, while the rosewood neck extended, slender and fitted to your grip. At first, the nylon cords were resistant, requiring some force. But with practice, you learn to play through the sting and extract the desired sounds. You used to trail your fingertips over my face, proud of your raised flesh, the swells that refused to flex or yield. When you traded the classical for an acoustic, I expected the metal wires to bite or lacerate, but they only nibbled, leaving indents, grooves like hollow veins that soon closed over. It seems even steel strings are powerless against knots that sense only pressure. How painless it is for you now, holding me down. Letter in which I advocate on behalf of the disembodied. If you think suicide is selfish, you don't know enough about suffering. I'll start by correcting the lexicon. The word is user-friendly, a form of shorthand, but the rest of the dead aren't called drowns or heart attacks. No one is a suicide. Ending one's life is not an occupation or a pastime. I can try and try again, but I only finish the job once. Speaking in terms of success and failure may help you, but it has yet to benefit me. Cigarettes suffocate the smoker, and liquor consumes the drinker, but we alone are given the privilege of killing ourselves. You can swallow your pity. It's the melatonin you take so someone else will sleep better. Finally, please note that survivors are those who have made the attempt, not the grieving whose lives were never in danger. If, after we're gone, you choose to follow suit, you have two options. You can come to the understanding that you are a victim, or you can apply your own logic consistently and admit it's your own damn fault. Where am I on time? Do you know? Kinzy, I totally didn't look at my cell phone. Okay. I'll do two more. Perennials. I buried your guns so that the stock sat deep and the barrels nearly poked through the soil. The shotgun grew small, dense tubers I pried from the dirt and considered baking, but I knew their skins wouldn't soften or peel like potatoes. I almost missed what the pistol produced. The little arbors made from sagging stalks, the heft of the buds. I waited all summer, but there were no blooms. Instead, crows came and tore off the silver tips, gulping them down whole. For weeks afterward, I found queer, rootless flowers, bursts of coal-colored petals and rigid stems, clawing sky. Rewind. I start at 33 and probably alive. The girl inside me drowns as I enter the water, where I swim, pulling the anchor along like a resistant pendulum. My family moves me back into our apartment. He comes home and puts his feet up, the dust closing in around his heels. Delicate orbs hanging from the pergola at my sister's wedding melt into glue and yarn around unblown balloons. A niece celebrates losing a year and wraps up a coloring book. The blue yolk of his iris becomes whole. Hope is a bright ring that starts at the furthest perimeter of the concentric circle and closes in. I forget stockpiles of medication, the 22 he leaves on the dresser for 8 months until he and his brother fire holes through the plastic skin of a 2-liter. I am a wick drinking kerosene, seeing everything through smoked glass. The thoughts I think are not my own. My mom's surgeons return lymph nodes, sew back the breasts that cushion me when she calls my siblings. Then there is the black lull that persists like static on an empty channel. Disparate shards of my mind should now come together, but they will not, even in fantasy. So I lick a finger, pull up glints of light, and start a mosaic. My psychiatrist enjoys discussing Hamlet with his favorite patient. Strands of weeping willow sing like rubber chimes as I float face up in the shallows, pretending I'm buried. Expelled from grad school, I work at Detox, where we get addicts high. I exit the church as a single woman and pay a stylist to take down my hair. Plummeting 30 pounds, my frame becomes a dirty car on which someone scrawls, "Feed me." Zipping one wetsuit over another, I cover pale violet skin with thick neoprene that is no substitute for fat, and I retreat into the sea. My mom varnishes my bedroom floor, sealing in my body salt. I lose literacy in the language of boy, spared the thrill and terror of knowing all they want to do to me. My sisters tell time by the ticks of my workout routine. The mocking song deteriorates, so Benny and I give up the twins, junk the baby carriage, and jump down from the tree, just 2 kids. A scar disappears as my sled pushes off the fence, racing up the wrong side of the hill so forcefully my brother backflops into the snow. I'm happy, even as I grow clumsy and ignorant. Helplessness ensues. 21 inches of me fit tightly inside my mom. The womb is loud, whooshing lungs, percussive heart, until my ears unspiral, flattening against a head round and large for such a frail form. divided and returned in halves to my parents, there is no I, just borderless radiance, perforated here and there with slits of darkness, like a TV screen with flawed pixels, hooked to a VCR and ready to set in motion a boxy black cassette when God pushes the button. But somewhere in his consciousness, the desire for a me wavers and considers for what would be millennia if there were time, the infinite deaths to come, only one of them physical, before the pre-I decides at last to press play or not. Thank you.